Hey gamers, it's me Liz, and I'm here to update you on not one but two conventions because they happened so close together. So I'm going to give y'all a recap of what happened during SDHistCon a couple weeks ago, and then what happened at PAX Unplugged over the past weekend. So first, early in the month, I went to SDHistCon. It's one of my absolute favorite conventions of the year. It's an under 200 person historical and war game convention in San Diego, and it's organized by Harold Buchanan, Pratik Watani, and a whole board of really wonderful people who make it all come together. I cannot thank them enough for putting together a great con. So I was super busy during SDHisCon, as is typical. But I did get some cool games played. So I really, in particular, enjoyed Painkillers by Brooks Barber. It was just a really interesting take on the opioid epidemic in the United States, where we played actual drug companies that were trying to make money, but in the process of doing so, we were creating pill mills, we were taking advantage of addicts, and we were trying to keep investigators and the press and angry people from picking that up and getting us in trouble. And it was just a really interesting game. It's still in development, but this is the first time I've gotten to see it. So it's neat to touch base with where it is right now. And I'm really excited for where it's going to go. The other game I finally got to play that I've been trying to play was Shakespeare's First Folio. That's coming out from Fort Circle Games. It's by Kevin and Kate Bertram, and it was really cute. It's meant to be a light game that introduces Shakespeare's works for educational purposes, but it was a really fun little game with a little bit of trick taking and a little bit of worker placement. And I thought it was really accessible, and I thought it did a good job of expressing, you know, what kinds of plays Shakespeare wrote and how we categorize them. So overall, I think that is going to be a very popular intro level game for people who want to know something about Shakespeare. I think it's fulfilling its job, and the art has come through, so it's looking super cute. And I was really happy with what I saw with that. However, as much as I wanted to play more games, I think I worked too hard during SDSCon. Because I spent most of my time either demoing games myself or doing panels. We played Oath New Foundations a few times throughout the weekend. So I ran it twice, Cole ran it once, and the responses we got were really positive. People who've played Oath before were excited by the changes. People who had never played Oath before were able to pick up what we were putting down, and that felt really great. So as we kind of hit the tail end of New Foundations work in the office, it was very nice to be able to bring a version of the prototype that reflects all the work that we've been doing for other people to enjoy. So for those of you who are curious about Oath stuff, basically we are in the last usability editorial final testing stage of the game, and I think that's a really good thing. I'm really happy with it. I was also on a couple of panels. So one panel I ran, and that was about co-design. So I had my own co-designers who both happened to be at the con, David Thompson and Paul Wright with me. And we also had Corey Graham, who was representing Team Vagina Gara. And we also had Dan Bullock, who, along with Joe Schmidt, designed In the Shadows. And so we talked about our experiences of co-design. It was really interesting because I didn't realize that so many co-designs come from game jams, because I haven't actually done a game jam, although now I'm kind of curious. So we had a really cool conversation about what it's like to form a working relationship with other people and how we divide up responsibilities, how we test, how we agree on the direction for the game. And it was just a really fascinating conversation that I'm really glad that I had. So thanks to everybody for being on that panel with me. And then I was on a panel that was run by Akar Bardvaj with Dan Thoreau and Meeple Lady. And we talked about how we, as people who have channels who do media, talk about history. And that was also a really interesting conversation to have. I really enjoyed getting to hang out and get in touch with my media side as well as my designer side, which is what's been showing more at cons recently. And it was just a really it was a good experience to talk about why it's important to talk about historical games and what they mean to us and the standards we hold them to, and how we kind of get a grip on the kinds of games that we like to cover. So that was really great. And then kind of saving the best for last for SDHistCon for me, I spent most of the weekend worrying about my newest child with Paul Wright, and that would be Foxes and Lions. It is a Here I Stand style game that is about the Italian Wars, and we added to the system a florin economy that allows you to actively have to pay and bribe mercenaries. among some other things, because it's a Machiavelli game. So the sentiment of the people that you rule, the types of government that you rule them with, all those things matter, because the game is meant to kind of put Machiavelli's political theories on cardboard. And so Paul and I have been working really, really hard. He's a Renaissance scholar. I'm the help. But I've learned so much about the Renaissance this year. But he and I have put a lot of work into this game over the last couple of years, and it was really fun to like bring a big version of it to the table and get people testing it. I'm really grateful to the people who played, and there will be more on that because Paul and I are going to record a podcast episode about it. So stay tuned. That'll be the season finale for podcast season 11. So if you want to hear about foxes and lions, it's coming. It's coming. I promise. So SDHistCon was overall a huge success. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy it. I connect with people who really matter to me, and I get to look at and show work that really matters to me. And so that convention, I think, is one of the most important events of my year. However, like 2 weeks later, because it's PAX was early this year, I went to one of my other favorite conventions, and that was PAX Unplugged. So PAX is my favorite large convention. It's the first one that I went to as a YouTuber, and it has extreme emotional importance for me, and a lot of really important moments in my gaming life have happened through PAX or because I met somebody at PAX. But we put together our booth. We had a good time. So I'm like learning so much convention to convention about how to put up and tear down booths at conventions, and I actually kind of enjoy it. It's a really interesting process. We've got it down to a science at Leader right now, but this year we had a few different things to sell at PAX, but we had talking tables and demos for ARCs and for Ahoy. And what really meant something to me was we had a really nice demo table for Take, which is the upcoming game from Leader. It's going to hit Kickstarter early next year. So the game is very far along. It just needs a lot of art and graphical treatment. But in terms of its mechanical development, it's looking fantastic. There's a solo mode as well. So don't worry, everybody. You'll be hearing about that soon. But what we were showing at PAX was, of course, how to heist as a group. So Take is a game where you are like former partners and you occasionally work together to handle larger heists, and you're trying to make the most money. But it's like a very free form negotiation game where somebody might have cased the joint. Somebody else might have done some route planning to help avoid the cops on the way back to a safe house. But you have to agree with each other about who's in on the heist, and then what they're doing, what they're going to contribute, and then what their payout is going to be of the rewards if you succeed. And so it was really, really great to watch Nick and Ted. So Ted Kaya is the designer. He is about to feature on the podcast as well. Nick is the developer. But watching them show the game and like kind of figure out their pitch together and, get some love for a game that we've been working on in-house for so long felt amazing. And I was really, really happy for them. Other really high points of PAX. We had the cheese party. The cheese party always kicks ass. I had a great time at the cheese party. I ate a bunch of cheese. As usual, I hung out with wonderful people. You really can't beat it. And during the party, Marceline Lyman showed me a game called PAX, PACTS, from DVC. That was like a really fun little 2-player area control. I never buy those, but I did buy this one because I thought it was really good. I had, of course, a lovely night of gaming with the guys from the One Stop Co-op Shop. So I always catch up with Mike Kelly and Peter Goosis, and Jeremy Howard from Man vs. Meeple came through. Basically, like PAX is a really good time for people who make videos to see each other and like get some games in and talk. And that felt really, really great to just see everybody. I spent all my money at the Indie Press Revolution booth because I have an addiction to buying little solo journaling RPGs. Apparently that's just a thing that I like to do. It's been happening for a couple of years, so I really need to cover more of those games on this channel because I certainly buy them and then I do play them. I actually was playing one last night, so maybe that's something that needs to feature because clearly it's where my money's going. And the thing that I did that was not officially PAX, but I don't regret it at all, was I went to a Flyers game. One of my best friends from college came with her husband because he wanted to just go be a big nerd at PAX, and I 100% approve, of course. So he went off and did a vampire LARP, and she and I went to a hockey game, and I got to see Gritty, who is, of course, the best, and it was a really fantastic experience. So basically, I had two kind of different con experiences this month. One was more intimate and tight-knit. One was bigger and more exploratory, but in both cases, I had a really wonderful time. And, I think that the thing about cons is it's like the more you go, I feel like the rewards get bigger and bigger because you see more people that you really want to see. You better understand how to work the system of being at a con, so it's easier to get a look at the games you're really interested in. And there's just something really neat about knowing, like, oh, I'm going to go to this hotel lobby. I'm going to see these people that I never get to see, except for this time of year. And you know that it's going to happen and that you're going to see um, people and renew, I guess, the connections that you have that are normally only sustained over the internet. So SDHistCon, if you want to do like a small, intimate historical convention, it is fantastic. PAX Unplugged, if you want to go to a large convention with like a big show floor, but also you're actually going to play games, then I would say the PAX Unplugged is the one. So that's just a quick overview of cons I did this month. I would be happy to answer any questions you have in the comments. Please like, subscribe. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving, and most of all, happy gaming.